just the issue of bringing up drugs and pregnancy with an 11-year-old is kind of where I had issue as a parent.
No. Do you know Alexandra Campbell?
No.
She's the corporate communications person. Why does she not return calls?
Okay, sir, I've asked you multiple times to leave the property. They want you to leave. You're on private
Who's
property.
they?
The people that are here.
Who are the people? What are their titles?
Any of that information? No, I'm not entitled to.
And you won't answer these questions if bearded men are being asked if they're pregnant on a water slide.
Again, I do not work for TSSA.
Who are you then?
I know. I'm a private investigator who's been hired by this company.
Oh, you're a PI.
So I need you to leave the property, sir.
Few things are more fun than going to a water park on a hot, humid summer day, be it zipping down a multi-story water slide or just floating along in the lazy river. A visit to a water park is a great way to beat the summer heat and have a few laughs. But Dwayne of Oakville, Ontario, he's not amused by the way in which Wild Waterworld in Hamilton operates. Indeed, when Dwayne takes his 11-year-old daughter to the park, staffers are uber diligent about deriving personal information from Dwayne and his daughter, information that is equal parts inexplicable and downright ridiculous. And joining me now to fill us in on the nitty-gritty details, it's Dwayne. Hey, how you doing there, Dwayne?
Hey, thanks, David. I appreciate you covering this.
Well, I appreciate your time, sir. Now, as I mentioned, a water park should be a fun place to visit, but when we spoke off camera, I couldn't believe the crazy questions staffers at Wild Waterworld were asking you and your daughter. Please elaborate.
Yeah, so we arrived, beautiful day. Seemed like a nice park and stuff, but we decided to check out the water slides. So there's basically two entrances to two separate water slides on both sides of the main pools. Every time up, they would ask us, first they would turn to my daughter and ask her if she was pregnant and if she was on drugs. And then they would weigh her to make sure that she wasn't over 300 pounds. And then they would look at me and ask me if I was pregnant and on drugs, and then weigh me. So it was, a bit strange that we had to do this, but then every single time up the water slide, they would repeat the same questions.
Well, okay. There's a lot to unpack there. By the way, I think I referred to it as Wild Waterworld. Waterworld was that Kevin Costner disaster movie from the 90s. It's Wild Waterworks. This park sounds like a disaster, too, in terms of its questioning. Dwayne, first things first, you are a 47-year-old man with a beard, and they're asking you, are you pregnant? What? This is baffling to me. I can't even make sense of it.
Yeah, it seems like logic and reason's being replaced by something else. I don't want to assume anything, right? But to have most of the people that work at the park are young and they're just doing their jobs, around 16 or whatnot. But they're still well above my daughter's age, and they seem to be asking questions again and again. We knew them by the time, we went up 3 times just, through conversation, but it's just the park's policy.
But I'm just trying to figure out what the ostensible policy reason is behind the policy. You are clearly male. You've got a beard, for goodness sakes. Is there some suspicion you might have had a uterus implanted in you and you might have become pregnant somehow? It is baffling. And your daughter, I believe she's 11 years old, around 60 pounds or so, and clearly, a child. She's asked, A, if she's pregnant, and B, if she's taking illicit drugs. Why would they ask that?
I can't guess, but the repetition that they asked, so we must have went up the water slides about 12 times. So just the issue of bringing up drugs and pregnancy with an 11-year-old is kind of where I had issue as a parent.
And Dwayne, this is a good point. They keep repeatedly asking the questions when they know the answers? Well, why would they do that? Nothing changed in the 10 minutes or so it took you to go down the water slide and line up again, right?
Yeah, I wasn't the only concerned parents. They were asking 5-year-olds as well these questions, but I did chat, of course, with the people and kind of became friends with them. It's just the policy of the park. And a lot of it is that they just don't want to center people out. Say if somebody is overweight, for instance, and they can't really assume gender as well. So instead of having somebody maybe feel uncomfortable because they're 400 pounds, they ask everybody, even an 11-year-old that weighs 60 pounds. At one point, she's like, Daddy, like, why don't they just weigh us when we come in so they don't have to do it every single time?
Now, I did reach out, as you did, Dwayne, to Sarah Kinnear, she, her. She is the manager at Wild Waterworks. And I wanted to ask if if the conversation we had off camera was true, the idea of asking people who are clearly bearded males if they're pregnant, asking an 11-year-old if you're taking drugs. I'll tell you something, they sure like to probe information from their patrons, but they don't like to be on the receiving end of questions. She pushed off the queries to Bruce Harshnist. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I reached out to him by phone twice, by email twice. No response. I find that egregious, Dwayne, because this is owned by the city of Hamilton, I understand. It's, taxpayer funded owned. They owe us transparency. It's not a private company. But what do you make of the way they're dancing around this and the fact that Sarah Kinnear, she, her, told me that it was the Technical Safety Authority people, and these are the engineers that inspect everything from nuclear reactors to roller coasters in Ontario, that they're the ones spying on the personnel at the park, making sure a guy like you is asked if he's pregnant. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I can't guess intent. I mean, my only probably issue is my daughter bringing up subjects that maybe shouldn't be, kind of inconveniencing people when you can use common sense. So I think the lack of common sense and reason and logic is my major concern with what was happening.
Right. And because Bruce Harshnitz didn't get back to us, I guess he's too busy having his ham sandwich there at the city, I did visit personally with a cameraman the Technical Standards and Safety Authority here in Toronto. It turned out to be an inexplicable visit because I was just trying to get in touch with Alexandra Campbell. She is the corporate communications person there. Like Bruce, she doesn't return phone calls or emails, so I thought I'd pay a house call. Let's check out how that went. Well, folks, I have reached out several times via email and voicemail to Alexandra Campbell. She is the corporate communications person here. Yet again, we have found another entity in the TSSA who has hired somebody in communications who does not communicate. And by the way, for all of you who don't return our inquiries, that doesn't mean the story is going to die. We're still going to do it with or without your cooperation. But I wanted to ask Miss Campbell if the statements of Sarah Kinnear, she, her, were true, that a patron who is clearly male is asked if he is pregnant before going down the water slide, why a preteen girl clearly under 100 pounds is asked if she's over 300 or 400 pounds, and why these questions would be asked. And is it true what Sarah Kinnear, she, her, said, that there are inspectors with the TSSA that are secretly shopping Wild Waterworks in Hamilton? In other words, spying, I guess, just wandering around, eavesdropping on conversations, making sure that a 47-year-old man with a beard is asked by a staff member if he is pregnant. And here we are near the airport, and look at this. The lights are on, but nobody's home. TSSA head office is now closed to the public. Send all general correspondence electronically to customer services tssa.org, which we've done, and it's promptly ignored. This is interesting. For urgent matters, credit card payments or flexible payment options, please call that 1-800 line. Isn't that something that when money's on the line, there's a special manned post for those payments to be processed? Can I say manned, or is that too sexist? In any event, my cameraman Maurizio and I, we're going to hang around the parking lot. I've seen inspectors on a periodic basis drive in, and maybe they can tell me if indeed that this madness is true, or is it Sarah Kinnear, she, her, who is out to lunch? Let's find out. Hey, sir. How you doing? How you doing?
Sorry, but
Are you with?
allowed on this property.
Oh, pardon me?
You are not allowed here. Sorry.
Oh, why's that?
The client told us.
Who's the client?
I don't know the name.
You don't know.
Yeah.
And who are you?
I'm the security guard here.
Do you have a security license?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Oh, would you be Alexandra Campbell? Ma'am, would you be Alexandra Campbell?
No, sir. And I've been asked to ask you to leave the property. It's private, and they would like you to leave the people inside.
Oh, who asked?
TSSA.
Oh, I thought there was nobody in there because it said it's closed.
No, you need to leave the property.
Okay, but my name's David
If I ask you to
Menzies.
leave, that's fine.
Okay, I will. But can you tell me, are your inspectors eavesdropping on Wild Waterworks to ask bearded males if they are pregnant? Is that what your inspectors are doing? Are they asking little girls under 100 pounds if they're more than 300 or 400 pounds? This is what Sarah Kinnear, the manager of Wild Waterworks, said, that you guys have spies at their water park. Is that true? No? Do you know Alexandra Campbell?
No.
She's the corporate communications person. Why does she not return calls?
Okay, sir, I've asked you multiple times to leave the property. They want you to leave. You're on private
Who's
property.
they?
The people that are here.
Who are the people? What are their
I'm not gonna tell
titles?
you any of that information. No, I'm not entitled to.
And you won't answer these questions if bearded men are being asked if they're pregnant on a water slide.
Again, I do not work for TSSA.
Who are you then?
I know. I'm a private investigator who's been hired by this company.
Oh, you're a PI.
So I need you to leave the property, sir.
Okay, well, that's fine.
You're not gonna leave? Okay, I can tell you.
No, we're on our way out. You know, this is really secretive, folks. You know, the fact that we're just here to get their side of the story, and we have a PI telling us that we have to leave the property. I think she's a PI. She never gave a license. He didn't give a security license either. So what is going on here? I mean, these are the people that inspect everything from nuclear power plants to roller coasters, and apparently eavesdropping on water parks, if you can believe Sarah Kinnear, she, her. Yet they will not talk to us. Well, they told us to leave. We shall leave. If that's the way the TSSA reacts to a reporter just trying to get to the truth of the matter, gee, maybe they do actually have inspectors hiding behind bushes at Wild Waterworks, listening to the queries riders of the water slides are doing. Dwayne, at the end of the day, we're going to keep on it. Maybe it entails a visit by yours truly to this Wild Water Park. I'm going to have to think of a really cheeky answer when they ask if I'm pregnant. Maybe if I say I'm in the second trimester, they're not going to let me ride the slide. But I must say, when I was doing a little research about this water park, you think they'd be less concerned about the weight of little girls and whether or not they're taking drugs and whether you are pregnant, and more concerned about the facility that they operate. I understand consultants have recommended a $40 million upgrade to Wild Waterworks. It is aging. I imagine there's some structural integrity issues. Shouldn't that be on the front burner, making sure all these slides and attractions at the park are safe, as opposed to these ridiculous questions they're asking the patrons?
I'm sure the funding's out there.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're right. It's you, I, and everybody else in Ontario. We're the taxpayers. Twas ever thus, they'll have their noses to the trough and follow the consultant's report. And of course, if they recommend 40 million, the off-the-lot price will probably be closer to 80 million. That's how they roll in government. Well, Dwayne, I got to thank you very much for your time. I'm sure your daughter loves going to the park. These intrusive questions, if they weren't asked, it'd be all the better. Last word goes to you when we try to make sense of what they're doing at Wild Waterworks.
Yeah, as I said, I'm not really sure. I just hope they do change some of their policies just to make it easier, not only on the parents and then bringing up difficult subject matter to kids, but also on the workers as well. They seemed to be taking a lot of questions, and they weren't really sure of the logic that was behind it too.
Dwayne Connolly, thank you so much. Have a good summer. Maybe you have to whip off the Canadian Tire and buy a Mr. Turtle pool to avoid the inquisitions, but have a great rest of the summer, my friend.
You too.
Hey folks, have you been to the Rebel News store lately? Well, you should. The number one hit of the summer is our Justin Castro t-shirt. That's the one that has half of Justin Trudeau's face and the other half is Fidel Castro's face. You know what the rumors suggest. I got to tell you, the resemblance is uncanny. Say, do you think maybe that's why Justin Trudeau went out and got that Jim Carrey Dumb and Dumber haircut the other day to, downplay the resemblance? Yeah, I think we can take credit for that. In any event, if you want more than one, what a promotion we're running. Type in the promo code SUMMER, that's SUMMER, buy 2 unisex t-shirts, get the third one for free. So come on, strike a fashionable pose this summer and tell Justin Trudeau what you really think about his potential DNA.